Eh, eh. I wanted to get on the subject about athletes, like professional people, and I think just really people in general, of course. But I'd like to get on mainly just athletes and like fighters, specifically boxers. So, because I'm big on on me doing these videos and me talking about health, really spiritual health, physical health, things like that. And I'm trying to like pretty much like get to this conclusion of what we are as colors, as rainbows, as human beings, as these chakras and all this, this stuff going on that makes up, everything that we see. I've always been curious on like what it is to be, what it means to be this, whatever this is, and kind of, breaking down like what we do this for, the consequences to what we do, and how we can pretty much like learn from them to make life a little easier. It seems to me as humans we're gonna have war of some kind no matter what we do. We're gonna have some type of like issue no matter what we do. We're gonna have people wanting to fight each other no matter what we do. So it seems like things like kickboxing, boxing, jiu-jitsu, martial arts, all this stuff, it's kind of like here to stay. And so people will like it. So it seems to me that it's here to stay, and people will continue to make these sacrifices to do whatever they need to do to feed their family. And some people just like to do it, no matter what the consequences may be for them doing it. Some people are incapable of doing it. Some people have injuries or problems, or, those consequences do come up, and they can no longer put it out on the line for their families to make something happen for themselves. So they become coaches and trainers. Those that don't play say, you know, those that can't reach teach, you know what I'm saying? If you can't get out there and do it yourself, you kind of like play the sidelines, and that's cool. Some people do both. Um, I would say that those are probably some of the best coaches, trainers, really teachers, because they kind of got the gist of both worlds, because a lot of coaches don't play, a lot of trainers don't train, a lot of them don't eat right, a lot of don't have a good awareness of what they're really getting themselves even into, or what they're putting someone's life on the line, what they're getting themselves into, and they're putting all this trust in this coach, into this trainer that's gonna do, they're gonna think, if I do 1, 2, 3 ABC, then I'll get this thing to come out of it. type deal. And it's a weird kind of trust, because like, man, like that's a lot to I mean, you don't really do that for too many other things where like your life is truly on the line and you just go to make sure I don't die, because it's a serious business. Like if you teach a person how to step wrong, or how to do certain things that that could end very badly for them, you know. So you don't have a good idea of what you're doing, and you have this air of confidence about you, you know, that you know what you're doing, and you go try to teach somebody something, and you kind of fuck them up. You kind of mess their lives over, and it's a little weird that because they don't have, like I said, a good awareness of what it really means to be a fighter or an athlete or something like that. And so, and a lot of these dudes, have a lot of issues at home, domestic issues at home, things like that, They partake in a lot of things that are legal, and because it's legal, it's apparently okay to take in abundance, sometimes even illegal things. But, and so, and I'm, because I always like to try to speak when I get on these on like for real life, because it's like just not everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of people in this world you think don't do hard drugs, and they made it through their whole career, and you'd never know. So it's kind of like speaking on real life, not just everybody's clean, everybody, nobody does anything wrong, nobody smokes, nobody, shoots up, nobody, prick themselves with all kinds of whatevers and stab themselves in the butt with shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, but people don't do stuff like that. All these people are clean and they're cool and everything's copacetic, type deal. And I don't play that. It's weird, because we know that that's not real, but for some reason, again, there's this veil of that. That's what that is, and it ain't. So, so you have these people that live their lives, and they see what they've seen on TV. They go off of, once again, like science, a super educated guess of what life is, which is solid stuff. You work in, we all build in shoulders of giants type shit, and that's cool and all. But the issue is that a lot of these people are not built for it, and so they're ruining a lot of people's lives and doing a lot of doing a lot of damage to these individuals, and giving them this confidence that what they're doing is the best thing to do, when you don't really have a clue of what the best thing is to do. And it's a difference between, like I'm saying, having legit specialists and people that really know how to play the game, because even for them it's really difficult to find the right thing to tell a person in that moment and do all this stuff, right? And so preparation is important. You have to be able to prep this person to have within their muscles memory, their whole muscle system, and all the nerve system, everything, to be able to pump out what you need them to produce day of. The issue I'm noticing is that, other than, of course, like any mess ups, like a kid or something like that or whatever, like a kid, not like kids, I'm saying like that mentality of a child, you kind of fall off sometimes. You lose direction, you lose, focus and things like that, right? And so you fall off and eat a lot more food or bad food you don't need to be eating. The habits come in and things like that. But when you become an adult and you really can, you're a man and you can live as you please, I think is when it really gets bad. Because, and that's why, okay, so me leading into all that is like why I want to talk about this, because these bad habits I'm seeing are putting people in the hospital quicker, retiring people way faster, the whole, you're giving people brain damage way easy, more easily. Like, these people are just trashing themselves off of what they think is right to do at that time, right? So when it comes to diet, lifestyle, you name it, it rips them apart, and they don't know exactly how they get themselves to that point. Because I do watch a lot of fights, MMA, boxing, and all that stuff. I don't watch it a lot lately, but I used to be pretty into it. And I would notice that some fighters really wouldn't have that issue. like a Floyd Mayweather, like, you know, certain stand-up people in the MMA like that and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That they would know how to like have this, like Anderson Silva and things like that. They would have this like longevity to them. GSP, you know, they have this longevity to them about how they went out about playing the game, right? And so when I see what these boxers do and how they live their lifestyle, and that is, you know, these manly men, these super men dudes or whatever like that, right? I don't know. The super mensch people, these super dudes. And it's cool because I like it. For me personally, you know, I'm a little envious, a little jealous and all that stuff because, like, I love seeing these dudes just clash and bat and just going at it and boom, 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 and they swinging and banging and bipping and bopping and rolling and going and dipping and showing, sliding and gliding and hitting the strides. And I love it. I love it. I love it. Hit it, dude. Do it. Do it. Smack them, punch them, kick them, do it. I love it. But when it comes to, let's say, a person like me wanting to get into it and do it, you would certainly call me boring. You would call these people boring, right? Like, they're not fun to watch. They're not good for the sport. They're not the people you want to, you know, it's a whole thing. They're successful. They do what they need to do. They make it through, which is, I would think, right, what you would want to do. You don't want to need, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck you want to come out with $1 million trillion, but you ain't got a brain cell left. You know, you negative deficit brain cells, and your arm don't never work right, and it only clicks and only moves this much. You know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, your hip is displaced, your whole back fucked. You know what I'm saying? Your body is trash, done, decimated, desecrated, over with. And you're like, but I got money, I got a house, I got this stuff, and it's like, are you sure with this? Are we sure this was the goal though? Because, like, I want to have if I was a boxer, if I was a kickboxer or MMA fighter, things like that, I would want to last. I would have the most longevity, and it wouldn't even be in fighting for the whole time. I would just find a way, you know what I'm saying, and do kind of like Floyd, but like, and have that entertainment exhibition or something, but protection, man. And I go into, I say all that once again to lead into this, because I feel it's pretty important, right? Because things like headgear is a factor, or, you know, but it's also a detriment because you feel like it's a false sense of security, because you think, oh, I can just swing and bit bat all day long and I'm not gonna hurt the dude or whatever like that. We got the gloves and this, come on now. And it truly doesn't really make a difference. And that sucks, because you're pretty much just swinging on the dude like you normally, you know, you on the street with no headgear. The same amount of damage is really kind of happening in your brain, as far as your brain cares, or, you know. So it's like, you kind of really, and you know, like, it's the same or worse because you go twice as hard trying to do it, right? So you have hundreds of hours of getting beat in the head, right? So let me read it off so I don't miss nothing, because I put it, you know. So I put yeast, beer, of course, same kind of, bread and things and all that, carbs and all that. Also yeast, because it kind of slows you down, gunks you up, mucks you up, and, like, you know, essentially clogs you, things like that, if not treated properly, if not taken care of, what I'm getting at, of course. Head beatings. You get your head beat in every goddamn day, and you go hard trying to spar, and you know. So let me read them all. So, no rest, hard rounds, inactivity when it comes to not training properly long enough throughout the days, throughout the week, and not just once a month or something, you know, whatever the case may be, something like that. You know, so due to inactivity and not and having, you know, not having proper training, like going through the 3 days of strength and conditioning and doing the right amount of rounds and pushing yourself for the right amount of time, not over exhausting yourself. Learning now, like me especially, knowing, you know, because even GSP talks about like 25 minutes, and that's just it, right? So you know, having that strength and conditioning and knowing what to eat throughout the day. because I really want to speak on just the deterioration. I want to speak on the emotional parts, or what, the physical part of it, really. So constant dehydration, you're constantly trying. I've noticed through sweating, you're always working out. You do, because even through ice baths, you lose sweat and all of, you're still shedding. Through saunas, through just you breathing and being, you're constantly dehydrating yourself all day long. As a true, as a true athlete, you're really getting in it on the grind. You ain't playing around with life. You're really trying to make something happen for yourself. You are dehydrated all day long. I know it. And you most likely will try to like compensate by chugging a whole beach ton of water, you know what I'm saying? Which is terrible for you, because you're really just essentially like sterilizing yourself after not having anything to really, like, you drained all the nutrients and vitamins and everything out of you, flushed it even more, the salts and all that, and then didn't replace it. And then you just ate a burger or something like that, and some chocolate milk or something, some spaghetti or something like that. Mental not being in it, your mental not really being in the fight, even before the fight. Like, you don't have a real, so because I notice a lot of dudes that try this, like, they go out to and try to be that, they don't really have the head in it. It's not fully, I don't think they fully scope what they're getting themselves into. And so that's a big one factor when it comes to death in boxing, and then all this stuff are big issues before you can even, you know what I'm saying, make it to the end of your career. Stuck muscles, pain pills, back pain. I'm gonna just read it. Deterioration through sodas and alcohol, hard drugs, steroids, fatty foods. Um, Stuck muscles is a huge one, because I noticed that a lot of these athletes talk about how, because we all talk about, really, not even just athletes, we all talk about having like pinched nerves and things like that. And I know this is mainly through stuck muscles being compounded by more stuck muscle being further stuck, like you're further sticking it, and then wondering why, like, you're in pain, making it worse, and wondering why you feel the way you feel. So you get the headaches, you get the sleepless nights, and the hard mornings, and you just don't feel like moving. It's hard to even wake up in the morning, man. I remember, it's just times of just trying to, like, you know what I'm saying, just get about that butt, young as hell, and just you know terrible sleep patterns, you name it, man. Just going through the whole rigmarole, man. Deterioration through sodas. So and you gotta have the pain pills now, and then we know that, prolonged pain pill usage deteriorates. It fucks with your mental. It fucks with your chemical balance. Now you got mood swings. Now you have more tension. You have more depression. These things manifest. I'm just trying to, these things come about. Of course, through any type of seltzer or anything like that, and the sugar plus the chemicals. You're constantly drinking, so and you always mix it with the alcohol, right? This is a life I've noticed. That I'm specifically because I'm saying in boxers, I notice it's like why, because CTE is real, brain damage is real, and all that stuff, but it happens more so. I'm noticing with boxers and kickboxers than it does with like MMA fighters and all that other stuff. You know, the worst you get is like cauliflower or fucked up leg or something like that. You know, broken arm or whatever the case may be. Like, but all of that's worse too. Because I even noticed like breaking. You know, you let's say you break your hand or something like that, having all you know that's immediate back pain. People need to look into that more often. How do you like that's immediate back issues, and people wonder why like they get cracked in the jaw. You know what I'm saying? They get beat in the head every day, things like that, and they wonder why like their legs, and knees hurt, why their feet hurt, shoulders all. You overwork your shoulders, like it's all tension in it. And I notice this is like people wonder why they're so tired. Well, if your body is always holding a crunch 24/7, I think you'll be a little drained. I think you wouldn't, you know, you would. It's dull, right? But you wouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be as drained. So yeah, alcohol, drugs, steroids, and fatty foods is the last one I really. So yeah, I would clump all that up with the yeast, the beer, fatty foods, the steroids, things like that. You know, because like I said, people think that everything's so squeaky clean, everybody's so cool and copacetic, and it's not the case. You know, steroids all day. I mean, you ain't really got to go into that. We already know how terrible that is. So I look at the overall of all of these things like that, and I go, well, no wonder it's so easy for a person to die in like boxing and something like that. You're being overworked. You got rounds on rounds. You got fights on fights. Dudes talking about 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 fights. You know, and that's just amateurs or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, and you're questioning why, you know, dude ain't make it to the pros, or he only got 4, 5 fights into the pros or whatever the case may be, or like the only ones that really make it through like that are the ones that are slick enough to not want to be the super dude, try to get up in there and show the crowd what they can do, you know, things like that. You know, they ain't you know, the smart one ain't trying to show off or prove something. They're trying to live. To be able to even fight another day. You know, see people not even get trained up enough, think that all they got to do is swing a whole lot. They get to a certain point, and, you know what I'm saying, and it's not so easy. You know, all the dudes got to do is pin you down, something like that, and it's over. So yeah, I pretty much wanted to just put this up because I just noticed that there's so many issues. Like I said, with brain damage, and like I said, you wondering why, or you know, and just the body being deteriorated and you can't make it through. You know what I'm saying? Like you're literally putting yourself at the deficit at any point in chance you can get. You don't fill yourself up with nutrients like you're supposed to. At times, we're not educating ourselves on damage control or recovery, like that being an exercise more, but not losing focus on still getting it in. Like you still got to get it in too. That's weird to me. Like a lot of these people are just kind of like doing this flow shit and not really like pedal to metal type. You know, that's interesting too. But to not have a strategy to life to get to that point, to be able to, like, I just think it's terrible. I don't like it. So you're wondering, like I said, why you got brain damage and all this other stuff going on and people dying in the ring and things like that. You know, it's like, yo, I mean, inactivity. Like I said, you got most of the times dudes can't move. They say the last thing that you get to keep is power as an adult. You know what I mean? The speed goes, the all the agility goes, all of the, and then I always question, well, why is that? It's like, man, because you have to do twice as much work because your body is so stiff just to breathe and function. Like I see them dudes like they try to breathe, they can't even. You know what I'm saying? Like they're doing all this work and working, working, and they got this great cardio, but they don't know how to breathe properly to maintain the breath, to like calm themselves down, to like not just freak out and just, it's just go 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 go, and that's cool and all, but you don't need to go to win a fight. You don't need to go to win anything. You need to chill, strategize, breathe, learn how to like train yourself and not have to have a trainer train you type, having a coach to do what you like. You don't know about you ain't learning you at all. That type of stuff. Like, so to me, it's always a mental direction first. Is that they don't really like have a direction on what they want to do or how they want to do it, and so they just hope that somebody else is gonna take care of it for them, and they're missing out on so much that they could be doing with their body and how they could be doing yoga and training all kinds of different things and learning the breath and their mental and who they are as a person first before just trying to go hop on somebody, get on some pads or something like that and just hope for the best. Like, you can't forget yourself. So much activity. Right. Oh yeah, and always having like something constantly deteriorating your skin, bone, marrow, tendons, ligaments, all your stuff is constantly being deteriorated because it's like, and it's a fast life to live too. Like I said, all those hard drugs, the constant mixing of the drinks, you want to party every single time you win, you know. Like I said, all those things build up, and half the time, if you don't have the genetics, if you don't have the mental like genetics, if, I want to try to bring that into something like if you don't have the already mental capabilities to, because there's some dudes can pound 30,000 beers and go forever in their whole days, snort a whole line and live life fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Whole railroad trail. You know what I'm saying? Just the whole, and be good. That's cool. But if not everybody's like that. So if you don't have that capability of still being healthy, even though it doesn't make sense to be healthy like that, for you, they can do it. If you don't find that health for you, if you don't know what your blood type diet is like that, something that's more specific to who you are as a person. Because I even heard that Mike Tyson can't eat kale, and they say that's super healthy. So if you, like I said, everything's designed specifically for you. You just got to go find what that is. But you can't. There's certain things you just can't do. Certain people can't smoke. Certain people hate to drink. Some people, you know what I'm saying? That chemical makeup is for them. And so those receptors are for those whatever, right? For them. And you have your receptors for you. And so, like I said, not everybody can go out and drink every day or every night and all that and still function properly. Not saying it's wrong, right, this, that, and the third, bad, wrong, good, or whatever. It ain't none of that. It is, these people are capable of doing this and living their lives perfectly fine the way they want to. You know, if they don't care for the CTE, they don't care for the, you know, what they're, how they're doing their body, even if it isn't that cool. Let's say it ain't that cool, even though they can do it and pull it off. Hey, they doing it. It's not something for you to do. So we need to find out something for you, so you can do, for you to do. And so, like I say, that deterioration is a big thing too. And so it all bleeds into inactivity again and all this other stuff, because you go into the thing, go into that, you know, the event, and now, you know, you got to muster up the mental ability. You got to muster up the physical, you know, to just perform, just to just be there. You're already in pain. You already, you know what I'm saying? You got to warm up just to warm up, just to get, you know, like, just because your body's in so much of a detriment, just because you're so locked in, because your body's so, like, there's no malleability, right? There's no, like, in people, especially like fighters and stuff like that. And I think that's a big tell. You don't even know how to breathe properly. I think that's the one thing. Like I said, they have great cardio, but can't breathe at the end of it. You're dead tired. And it's like, you know, the one thing they want to do is just the you know, and I noticed too, is just gas. You just want a good bit of air. You just want to breathe properly. But if your pelvic floor is so tight, if all of that on the pelvic floor is so tight, it becomes weak. I look at it as strength in the sense of like a bodybuilder being brittle. I don't see necessarily a picture of health or strength when I see a bodybuilder. I see it more so when I see little dude got a good bit of muscle, mainly malleable though. Like he can really, you know, he move, he can bend, he can hold himself, and he can fly, he can jump, he can run real fast, he can swim easy, you know. That is, to me, malleability to me is strength. That's to me what I think, you know what I'm saying, life for me is to be able to move in and out, adapt, be adept, have that ability to move in and out of things. Just being one dimensional, only being able to pump out one thing, you know, all that type of stuff don't make sense to me. People that like fight but only lift weights a lot, like that don't make sense to me. Like you're tightening yourself, but you want to be loose. Think about it. Like for me, it never made sense, and I see, especially with people like, I think it was, who was it? What's that boy? Motown phenom Kevin Lee. They say they don't even lift weights, or Yoel Romero. They say he don't even lift weights type thing. So it's like he does all calisthenics, all that. He stretches a lot. He does yoga, and I'm pretty sure, or whatever. I don't know what the man does, but I'm pretty sure. You know what I'm saying? It's more along the lines of, you know, stretch training. You know, pulling the muscles out, being able to have space expansion instead of just contracting all the time. You pull a crunch. You if you crunching ain't good. But at least if you're going to pull any type of crunching motion, you know, hold, pull out, pull, you know, stretch out, be able to expand that out. But just to have that one crunch and you just keep crunching it, you only crunch. I don't approve of crunches. I like twists. I like pulls. I like expansion. I like to be able to elongate myself. I don't want to be able to be that, you know what I'm saying? I felt that before. I don't like that. Heavy weights, trying to like always like this, you know, always. My body is so, well, it used to be so unaligned, and like, because nowadays I'll watch people. I'll look at dudes, right? Like, let's say I pull up somebody I would be able to map out essentially how they train in a sense, how they sit most likely, or things like that, how they lay down, how they sleep, how they, not necessarily, but just looking at, like, you have a dude, he's just finished training or something like that, or they show like the pictures of the dudes, and it's just like the model of them, of the picture of them, and I'll look at them, or they're at the weigh-ins or whatever like that, and they're just kind of standing there. I'll look at them, or sometimes when they flex, and I'll see the hip displacement. You don't, like, I don't know if people notice it, but it's like I'll notice that these two abs are pulled down way, like, a little too far. Like this part of his chest is down and in, but this one's fluffed, right? Or this shoulder's flat and this shoulder's round. This side of him is bigger than this side. I watch all of that. I see that this leg is shorter. This leg is a little skinnier. The whole deal. And I can, because, I notice, you got to pop that out. You got to, like, get this right here. You got to put that, like, smooth that out, bring that up. It's too much of a duck. It's too much of this. But I'm not just saying that to see it. I see what to do now, going through all the little motions and learning the nauli and all that stuff, right? That's not supposed to be there. That's not supposed to look like that. And it takes a lot more than just massage, just the breath, just yoga, it takes a whole accumulation of it all to get to the point to where you osmosis Jones that shit. I don't know how else to explain it, but you know how you've seen it where he can, like, shift and change and do all this stuff. It's essentially the same thing. You have the ability to pinch, pull, move. Like, I'm aligning myself. I no longer have this thing to where, like, you know what I'm saying? I see dudes and they don't even know that they're sitting like this, or they stand like this. That can be fixed. I need to look into more, like, scoliosis and all that stuff, but I think it's just bad posture for the most part. I think a lot of that can be fixed through the breath, through yoga, through all those things, through the mental, like I talk about. Like, because my question at this point is, what's stopping you from, like, my body does not look like, and it is not structured by no means the same way it used to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. I no longer have the aches, ails, and pains of yesterday. And with confidence, I can say this nowadays, especially nowadays. Because before, it was really just like, I'm not really doing too much. I don't really know what the call is. I don't know what it is and all this other stuff, But now that I look at it, this is like a real thing. And I notice, like I said, when I see these dudes and their bodies are kind of like, you'll notice it. Go look. I'm telling you, like, their abs will be kind of sunken in and the hip would be up or down, you know what I'm saying? But it looks like he's standing straight. So he probably, like, crunches and sleeps a lot like this. Or her, she, whoever. Probably sleeps or crunches like that, right? Or, or whatever. Or they stand with their neck like this, or and do like that. But you notice, even though if they stand straight, they look uncomfortable. At least I notice it. They look uncomfortable. And like I said, they may not know what to do, and they go to a chiropractor or things like that, go into somebody else to go fix them, and they only get so much work done. But I noticed, like I said, a lot of it is dealing with something that these doctors can't really do for you, and that's being able to breathe through your spine, breathe through the entire shape of your body, through the outside of your body. You can imagine that, it's really up to you on your imagination or where you want to take it. But teach me something is what I'm saying, because I noticed that if I can concentrate on the aura of myself, I can also move certain parts of my muscles on the outside that I can't really get into if I don't think like that. If I don't think that I'm able to wash myself over the muscles over like that, it may not be as out enough. I can do the muscles on the inside. Like I can move this and think, okay, let's move the muscles down from here, right? Mentally, I'm thinking I'm going to wave my muscles, have them shock through, essentially shock therapy mentally, wake them up, catch it. It's also still a little, for me, and I can't explain it any other way, a mental wave that I can make in my muscles to then massage myself. Like it's like and it does it. Like it's like waking that layer. You can hear it real time. Like it's waking the muscle and waving it through mentally down to the bottom. I can feel it in my back, down to the coccyx, down to my knees, into the shins, into the feet, like into my toes. I can massage myself, right? Mentally. I can move my muscles mentally. I have to put stress on this because it's like, it's not me just saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, because they had this one dude on this dude's Dodo the Polyman channel where he was talking about moving stuff like with tinfoil, and he like do this like little like that, and it would like move the tinfoil, right? And because he was talking about how like you have this forever breath where if you breathe in, which I can go with that one, you breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, and you literally, if you really don't want to ever stop having to breathe in, you can continue it. Like it's always a constant that you can always find a new layer to pull to breathe in. And I've always been curious, like a freaking gobstopper, how like, where it goes, because it does really end. Because I mean, how long can you really continue to breathe out if you chose to just say, I'm gonna kill myself today, I'm gonna die today, screw it, I'm gonna just breathe and breathe and breathe, or breathe in and breathe in until I can't no more. But I noticed that is something. So he was kind of getting into like, the mental breath and connecting that a little bit. But he kind of like, what I'm saying? I had to watch it again because I don't really, but he tried to like go into it a little bit, and it was kind of cool to hear about it. But then he started going to like I said, moving it with the tinfoil with the hand thing, and it was like, oh. Which, yay, more power to you, especially if it's a thing. I'm all about telekinesis and all that, and telepathy and all that. Because for me, that's kind of what I'm getting into, what it is. And people don't think that telepathy and all that, or telekinesis is real or whatever like that, but I mean, I'm literally moving objects with my mind. So, I don't know how to explain that. I don't know how to explain that, I mean, technically, we're already doing it. Right? I mean, like, what makes me move this is my question. Because I saw this one girl, which shout out to that chick too, talking about how like if you close your fist and you have the whole thing that if you want to open your fist but you don't open it, you realize, what I'm saying. I was talking about that, and I wanted to, man, my dang ego, because I wanted to comment about it. I think I did. I said something, but essentially along the lines of me saying like, I didn't go into detail, but I was like, me being in the military, I would remember being in a class, and this one Asian kid called me like, you must be like whatever, a genius or something. And this other dude was like, thought I was really dumb. And pretty much the rest of the class thought I was really dumb, or didn't get what I was talking about. But I was like, we think, right there, we think, right, ourselves into existence, but we think that we are this body, right? But what I noticed is that, of course, let's say, right, to make this easy, that I am in a good state, I'm happy, super cool, we good, happy days, everybody's happy. But let's say I put all the intentions, right, of separating myself, all the intentions of going, close your hand. And I really tell myself over and over again, and I put all the intent to close your hand. If you don't notice that your body starts to fucking wig out, like it starts to get irritated, whatever the hell, whatever. You even so more so that it starts to touch you, you know what I'm saying? That it starts to affect you, that you notice it, like why are you getting, you know what I'm saying? Like chill, bro. Like you notice it because you want to close your hand. Your muscles are being sent signals to close the hand. Those signals are being stopped because you're choosing not to close your hand. That clearly tells me that this thing has a separate choice, mind, whatever path of its own. It clearly tells me that this thing can do certain things that I have no control over. It's going to let me know certain things. It's going to say, hey, I feel this way about this. What do you think about it? How do you feel about what I feel? And people are making that connection, that it's a separation. Like this ain't you. You observe this. You are the observer looking at this play out. You are not this thing that plays out, right? You need to take care of this damn thing that plays out. I don't get why these two things are not really important to people enough. Like I said, your personality, your mental, and this thing that you made from it. It's important. But I noticed that it's like I said, I like how she brought that into the awareness that if you close your hand and try to open it, that you realize that your body is not cool with it. You not being able to follow suit to what you just told it to do. It wants to follow out what I mean. You know what I'm saying? It wants to follow out the order, and you're not letting it, and it doesn't like it. You know what I'm saying? It's giving you a signal to say, hey, we're trying to do this. So I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, buddy. That's all I got. Yeah. So take care of yourself, man.